when I did the slice, I forgot to take off the skirts, well, or the brim. Probably brim that actually. But it's okay for this. What I wanted to show you is, I have no lights on here. Well, I do, but I'll watch out for the dazzling here. You'll probably get the reflections on these smooth rods. Watch out for the dazzling. Like LED tape lights, I'm going to call them. That's the only lighting I've got. There's a little bit of lighting coming in from outside. Can we see the nozzle? Yes, we can. But generally this is quite dark. It's mainly this lighting I wanted to show you. This is off a 12 volt power supply unit. There is 24 volts and 5 volts in the system. Or wouldn't want to rely on that anyway, even if it did book converter or something. I don't know how many amps that can take or anything. But it's a 24 volt system, so I presume the output is 24 and 5. If it was a 12 volt input, I suppose it would be 12 volts and 5. That too, like, I'll try and put a circuit diagram, it will be like a diagram thing for you. So that lighting is pretty good. Just a second. Oh, I don't know. I was looking for the LEDs to show you. Basically 5 meters came in a bag like this off eBay. I'll put the seller. This again is the lighting, only the lighting. I'll put one of my big lights on to show you this, because that's not really shining on the... There we go, if I can get it to stay still. I'm trying to do this one-handed. So it came in this bag, it's foil. Just a second while I put this down. So this is how it comes. It does come with some tails on, at least some of it. And you can cut this to length. Every mark like here, every what, 1, 2, 3 LEDs, you can cut it to length, which I have done. I've done some going across the top of this printer as well, so they're going up the sides, actually in the inside, well, just on the edge of here of these, like, I don't know what to call them, on this FLSUN QQS, so that generally that the lights won't get in the camera, see, because the light will be forward of this. To get an idea of the lighting there. This is gold PLA. I wish it was real gold. those LEDs go all the way up to the top and over the top. So there's like a cut and there's some, yeah, you could probably see the wires there. So it goes up there. I found an adhesive, not too strong. It's cut on it and it joins another strip up here, going along the, let's call it the roof, and then joins another strip coming down here. So it's all in serial, whatever. I just wanted to show you those lights. Let me turn this big light off. As I said, there's a small window, well there's a window open. Let me shut that blind on that. So it's pretty dark in this room now. So you can get an idea of the brightness by looking up the top. This is the top of the printer, and this is where there is no lights up on the top, so to speak, or not above the printer, just below the printer, so to speak. So I just wanted to show you these lights, very good, not too expensive. I'll put some details on this video. What I found though is that when you're stripping the tape off the back, because it has this sort of tape on the back, and then it has the sticky stuff, sometimes this tape almost pulls the sticky stuff off, and that can be a bit of a nuisance. Just odd time when I was doing it. So you get, this comes on a roll, like I think for a pick and place machine, well if you buy 5 meters or possibly longer, it does anyway. This is just pure white. I would probably recommend pure white for camera. Don't know about warm white, so I think that might affect the colour balance. 100 millimeters per second, 0.2 layer height, 80% infill on this. I want these parts to be strong. I'm printing out the PSU box. Vented box, PSU vented box. Again, at these settings, the other settings we're only prototyping. A few slight tweaks based on the prototyping. These have a slight, oops, oh, almost dropped the camera. These have a slight slot in here so that it can move a bit like naturally when you've got it. These are the cable clamps that clamp the cable down. Put the big light on again. So there you are. And that's all what I've got left. I don't know what I'm going to use that for. There's the gold PLA. So it doesn't dazzle the camera out because it's all hidden behind like this part and these parts here. Don't know what you can, like a shroud thing. Got the smooth rods around. The only odd thing is if you come right round like this you might get some reflections on the smooth rods, but that's not too bad. I did consider putting them, actually I have this in a server cabinet, I did consider putting them on here, but any light off these sort of rack things would shine on the shrouds and almost create a shadow over it. That's fine. One thing I don't like about this printer is this wire that goes to the end stops. You see the wire there? It's just loose and that's where the carriage is moving up and down. I might put some cable clips on that, well on each three of them as time goes on. I'll just talk about this briefly. After I've printed these out I'll probably put this on. This is, well the gold part is a bracket. and that goes on top where the extruder is, the feeding mechanism I should probably say. And this is a filament run-out sensor. Well, sensor, it's just a micro switch in there that the filament presses against as it passes through. So if the filament breaks, it triggers a signal, and that should pause the printer. I'm going to be doing that, well, I don't know, in a couple of videos probably show you putting that in and such like. Problem with this printer is that, particularly compared with my other one, well, everything's brilliant on this printer apart from this, is that if you want to do any work, any hacking, you have to almost take the printer out, lay it on its side, take the bottom back plate, well, the bottom plate off, and then all the electronics are inside here underneath. That's the only way you can really probably gain access apart from changing firmware and such like. Yep, there's some marks on the bed. The bed's on 60, nozzle's on 200 I think. Can you see this? Just mind that LED's out the way. $100mm per second, 0.2 layer height, this case, 80% infill. Quite high, 1.6 on skins, whatever they call them, and likewise on the bottom and top I think, because I wanted it to be strong. This is to clamp down cables after all. I'll be doing the whole thing in about those same settings. Right, enough of that. Jolly good, let's turn this light off to show you. And as I say, you can see the nozzle. So even there's like shadows of the nozzle and the head sort of moves about. It doesn't stop the light getting around. There's a bit there why that's in the shadow, because that's probably quite near the lights. So the lights are almost going that direction, well, going that direction. That's a bit in the shadows there, but once it gets to the middle you can start seeing the nozzle. I'll have to consider maybe putting some more lights up. I'll think about that. So this is mainly just to show you the lights, and well, I'll put this under my playlist of PSU vented box, because that's what those parts are for. I'll probably be taking these were for like a tray drawer, well, a tray more, sliding out tray that I had my electronics on. My other printer was on these brackets. Well, there was a piece of wood going across here and on these brackets, but there isn't room. There's only just enough room to fit this in the server cabinet I'm using. Notice I do have foam rubber on, but it's half of it's falling off. I've just got these. It's like can that pull focus? Yeah, double-sided sticky stuff. It's a bit spongy. I've got some nano tape that I'm going to try, because the fall off after a bit, this foam rubber. This foam rubber does not help reduce sound so far as I'm concerned. It might. I haven't done a spectrum analysis. See, that's coming off now. I haven't done a spectrum analyzation of it. It might say knock down some of the higher frequencies. This is a much quieter printer anyway, except for the power supply and maybe the fan that's actually on the unit for the control panel and such like. Those are pretty noisy. I'm not sure which one or if it's both of them. But even with them it's quieter, especially if I shut this door. Yakety yakety yak. So get an idea of the noise level there. And so far as I know, this is just standard drivers. It's not the silent step sticks or anything like that. That buzzing on my buzz buzz is the retractions. Right, I'll finish off there. Be finishing off this print soon anyway.